Hi there, and welcome. Here's another technical tutorial where we're just focusing on replacing colors in the image. And as you can probably guess, I've chosen this image because um, we have this very kind of muted autumnal vibe going on in the background. But the model is wearing these two garments, her hat and her scarf. And the hat is this very strong blue color, and the scarf is this extremely bright, strong yellow color. I mean, you might think this is fine, or you might think, as I do, that it would be interesting to see if we can change these colors somewhat to blend in, tone in a bit more with the color tones of the background. So, how are we going to approach this? Well, we go for image adjustments, replace color. Using our eyedropper, we can tell Photoshop the color that we're interested in replacing, and we can use the fuzziness slider to either reduce or increase the number of associated pixels which are going to be picked up in this change. So we move the slider until we think that we've got the color as well isolated as we can get it. And then we need to tell Photoshop what color we want to use to replace it with. And here I've got some swatches which contain some of the tones that I like to use. Some of these are actually Japanese colors, which often have this rather nice, muted, subtle shades, which is the sort of thing I'm looking for here. So let's try this one. We select that. We have the sliders hue, saturation, and lightness where we can adjust the color we've chosen. But I'm not really going to change these at the moment. I'm just going to accept that. And that's pretty much it. Photoshop has quite successfully isolated the color of the scarf and changed it for us. So now we could snapshot there. I'll fold that in. We can make another copy layer, and we can go back and consider the hat. And once again, and as I said, this is why I've chosen this image, because these colors are pretty well isolated, and there's a lot of contrast between the color and the rest of the image. Photoshop's found it pretty easy to select this. Just adjust our fuzziness once more to try to isolate the hat. We can see it's picking up some blue from a little bit of blue from the jacket, I think there, isn't it? And our result, if we consult our swatches once again, we could go for a nice brown shade. Perhaps that one looks like it blends in quite well. That's slightly lighter, slightly darker. But we'll go with that. And if we press OK, then as you can see, Photoshop has, with this image, has found it fairly easy to replace color. One thing I do notice with this is if you look at the area on the right of the scarf where the light is striking it, we're getting this kind of slightly yellowish tinge there. And for my purposes, I think what I would do is I would just touch that up a little bit. And if I just pick up the colour and with my opacity and flow set quite low, I'm just going to tone that down slightly. I think really all it is just the light striking the garment. It creates almost like a kind of fringing effect, which I'm not too keen on. So I want to just reduce that. And I think, as usual, I think it's possibly a little bit distracting. So, and over here as well, I'm just going to, I can use my color picker to get the adjacent shade, and I can just gently touch that up a little bit just to reduce that sort of yellowish glow. And I can go further with that, and I can do other things, of course. But so I hope you'll agree that we've been quite successful there in changing these very strong colours into something which tones in with seems to fit to some extent fit better with the background colours. And so that's it. And I hope you found that useful, and I'll see you again on the next tutorial.